Okay, so the full day of eating today. I'm going to preface this whole thing by, this is what works for me. It doesn't work for everybody necessarily, but I will say that the foundation of the program does work for everybody. If you've heard of me talk about our nutrition program at the gym, and I've talked about it before, but Whole30 is the program, and it's out there in this world, and everyone and anyone can view it. And that's the program that I use for prepping for this competition. And I have people of all fitness levels that use this nutrition program. Doesn't matter what stage of life. I have people that are extremely new to working out and nutrition, and people that are advanced in it. So it really is for everybody. And then obviously I've experimented with it, that I've tweaked it enough that I know kind of what I'm doing and what works for me. So you know, no disrespect to what anybody else does. This is just what works for me. I'm a huge believer in getting your nutrition from real whole foods, not from shakes and pills and supplements. So, like I've said before, I do supplement occasionally, and it just kind of all depends. But I really believe that, you know, in all the stuff that I've learned doing this Whole30, you know, when it comes to shakes, your body actually needs to chew food for your body to go through, to send the signal to your brain to have it go through the rest of your system, for your system to do what it needs to do. If you're drinking your calories, it changes the psychological impact. Now, I'm no nutritionist, I'm no scientist, and whatever, but this is just, you know, from what I've read and what I know. So with that said, I eat about 3 meals a day. I know that there's people are like, you should eat every 3 to 4 hours to keep your metabolism up and blah, 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 blah. Well, I think that's kind of the old way, and I think it is going back to, you should have your 3 meals a day. You eat when you're hungry, and then when you're done eating your breakfast, lunch, dinner, you are satisfied until the next meal. Now that's very basic, very standard. So when you're working out though, we're prepping for this, for a show, or your activity level is increased, obviously you're going to change, you're going to support your body's activities with food. So I would typically do like a meal before I work out, a meal after I work out, and then that's in addition to my breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So it just kind of depends on how it falls. This morning I did not do anything to eat before my workout. So I'm just about to eat my first meal, which is my post-workout meal, which I'm going to grab it here. So cooked up some egg whites, just because I wanted a lean protein after my workout, and a sweet potato. So that's going to be my post-workout. Historically, you know, I used to do a protein shake after you work out. And occasionally I do, but this has proven to be far more beneficial to my workouts and my overall health and nutrition. So that's my post-workout. I'm going to eat that. I got to eat it within 15 to 30 minutes after I work out, and then I'm going to go home, and in the next hour to 2, maybe hour and a half, I'll have breakfast, and I'll show you what that breakfast is. So here you go. Happy Saturday. Okay, so I'm just leaving the gym, not as my workout. I was already here this morning for that, but I'm leaving work, and it is just after noon. Last time I ate was probably about 8 o'clock, I'd say, when Casey made the dinner and the boys were eating. I had a little bit, I didn't have a lot, and I'm hungry, so I'm going to go home and have some lunch. And then also the other thing I was going to talk about was water. So this is 26 ounces, and I drink, I try to get in 5 of these a day, which would be a gallon. So I usually probably do 2 before I leave the house in the morning, and then 3 throughout the day, and I try to get it in earlier in the day so I'm not waking up in the middle of the night to use the restroom all night long. So, but hungry, and gonna have some more Whole30 approved foods. Okay, so breakfast is ready. This is what I have. I've got my sweet potato hash browns. I have a whole egg in there with some egg whites on top, breakfast sausage, and spinach. Here's my decaf coffee, and then I make a homemade cashew milk. So put that in there to give it a little bit of flavor other than just black coffee. And I know this is not as convenient as a shake would be for breakfast, and I totally understand. So the important thing is when you're doing this during the week that you're prepared. I don't like to cook meals days in advance. I don't like cold food out of a Tupperware, so I just give myself more time in the morning to actually make this kind of breakfast or make something that I can take and go with me. Also, I get a lot of questions from people that want to know, like they're so tired of having eggs in the morning, and I get that because, I mean, I've had eggs every morning pretty much since July 1st, I think. So you just want to change it up. So cook it scrambled, cook it over medium, cook it with a sweet potato, cook it with salsa, cook it, you know, have spinach with it, or cook it in as a omelet with approved ham and veggies. So there's tons of ways to do it. Another one is to make like muffins. So, okay, it's lunchtime. Back here at the stove, because you cook a lot when you're on Whole30, and when you're trying to eat healthy, you're always cooking and doing dishes. So I'm going to make a cauliflower mash. I don't have my recipe book with me, so I'm going to wing it, but obviously cauliflower. And then I'm actually, because I'm winging it, I'm going to get a little creative. I'm going to put some onions in it. I think it normally calls for onions. I'm going to do a red pepper and then some parsley here for a little bit of flavoring. And then, so I'll have the cauliflower mash, and there'll be enough left over for probably dinner tonight. Which dinner tonight is chicken in the crock pot. I cook it on low for 8 hours, and then I put a little bit of water in it and some salt, pepper, sometimes some onion powder, and then when it's done I'll shred it up, and then that chicken will last for a couple meals as well. So that I like to do to be prepared. But for lunch today, Crewy and I, because Blake doesn't like these, we got these chicken apple sausages. These are approved ingredients. So the other thing that I loved about this program is it's very educational. It's not just you can't have this, you can't have that. So you learn a lot. Of course I ripped the ingredients here, but you don't just look at carbs, fats, proteins. Those are called the macros. You're not just looking at that. Okay, so we finished our cauliflower. We boiled it and steamed it. So now we've got it in our food processor, which I got for my birthday. Thank you, Casey. At first, when I first got this, I had no idea how to use it. I'm still kind of trying to figure it out. All the arrows and stuff, wherever they're supposed to go to lock in place. Okay, then ghee. Ghee is something that I did not used to like, and it's a clarified butter. When I first had it, I thought it was nasty. Yeah. And now I actually really, really like it. It's kind of expensive. It's like $8 for this. But it's actually awesome. I do. And there's Blake. He wants to be in the video. Okay, so I'm not really measuring, but I'm getting a scoop of this. What, babe? I did like a scoop and a half or something. So we put that in there. And then we're going to put, I cut up parsley and red peppers. Okay, so I'm done. I got my sausages from the grill. Got my cauliflower mash, and then I've got my onions. So here, you can see, got the sausages. I just put onions and kind of sauteed them a little bit. And then the cauliflower mash. Now I know it doesn't look amazingly delicious. I tasted some already. I think I put too much parsley in it. But that's okay. You can always, I don't know, maybe put some more ghee in it. And then I'll show you. So this whole thing, trial and error, right? Hey, Blake, give it back to him.
No, I had it first.
Oh, okay. Whatever. So I put a ton of vegetables in a crock pot the other day and cooked them up because I was like, that'd be perfect. We just have to cook some meat. And
Don't put that in here.
okay, I got it. Ew, what is that? No.
A tree. A tree.
And so I put, this is about as good as it looks about as good as it tastes. So I still kind of pick at it a little bit. I'll eat the potatoes, I'll eat the carrots and onions and zucchini, and then I put Brussels sprouts. Note to self, do not put Brussels sprouts in the crock pot. That's just gross. So here's lunch. It's about 1:40. That took me about 40 minutes. So normally when I'm like at work and stuff, I'll just have a salad as my vegetable. So I would already have a sausage cooked, have my salad, and that's really easy to cook or put together and put in my lunchbox and go out in the morning. Okay, it's 5 o'clock in the evening and we're actually getting ready for church group. So Sunday nights are kind of with dinner because we get 6 o'clock is church group, and we usually normally don't even eat till 7, but that's too late, so we're trying to eat earlier, and then 5 o'clock comes around and it's like already dinner time. So right now I'm just working on, I've chopped up some cabbage, and this is kind of for the week. Some people might call this meal prep. That is one word that I don't know if it's just because of the background that I have, but I just don't like that word. This is just me cooking. This is me, because I won't have that probably throughout the week, but making dinner. I'm also doing kale here. So I put kale in here and I rinse it with vinegar, and then I'll chop that up and put it in the cabbage as well, so we can just, again, just pick and go. I don't separate them out and portion them out for the entire week because I don't know what I want to eat on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. So I just make a big thing and then I can grab and go throughout the week. So I'm making some dinner. Blake had a grapefruit and some broccoli, and that's his dinner for tonight. Again, it's church group night, so that's kind of why this is a little hodgepodge of dinner. Okay, so here's the final product. I've got my shredded chicken with avocado, salt and pepper. I have my kale, cabbage, coconut, flakes and strawberries, and olive oil and balsamic vinegar as the dressing. I change that up every once in a while. Coconut aminos is probably one of my favorites, but here you go. The trick with the kale is to wash it really, really good, because kale can have a bitter, odd taste to it. So just make sure you wash it. Happy Sunday night dinner. Okay, so I guess in conclusion, my main point is that I think you should get the majority of your nutrients from real whole foods, and not so much in trusting what's in supplements, what's in your shake, what's in your pills. You know, go to farmers markets, spend a little bit more money on food than you would. People, I was reading this article in Men's Journal, actually, Casey pointed out to me. This guy has a book, and we got the book called The Dorito Effect, about how artificial flavors and everything started when Doritos were created to make Doritos and chips taste like tacos. So anyway, he goes on to talk about you know, we're cheapskates when it comes to food. We buy nice clothes, we want a nicer house, and then we think food should be as cheap as possible. And then, you know, make sure that you're reading ingredients. And that's one thing that we learned a lot from Whole30 is the actual ingredients list, not just the macros, the protein, carbs, and fat. Again, in this article, he talks about in, 1960, there were carbs, fats, and proteins in all our food. So what changed from then to now to make people fat? And it really comes down to the artificial stuff. And that's why, you never know what's in your shake, even though it's got all natural and organic, and there's so many ways around that anymore. So when you get a bell pepper at the store, you're eating a bell pepper. I mean, you can argue that our bell peppers now are not as good as their bell peppers used to be, but I mean, a bell pepper is better than anything else that you would get that has extra ingredients listed. So it's if you see artificial or natural flavorings, these have been engineered by somebody, not by nature, and you're getting an experience of nutrition that's not backed up. So Whole30 teaches you how to do this, and I'm 100% a huge fan of it. So what I showed you, what I eat, is just kind of a typical, like I change things around, and as I get closer to the competition, things will change as well. So if you have any questions or need help with anything, please let me know.